Hollywood, the land of glamour, fame, and childhood nightmares. While we adored these young stars on screen, behind the scenes, many endured extreme pressure, manipulative parents, and ruthless executives. From brutal diets to grueling schedules, their innocence was stolen under the Hollywood spotlight. Their lives were less Disney fairy tale and more psychological thriller. Buckle up for a tragic yet eye-opening journey into the dark side of child stardom. Number 7. Judy Garland. Before the world adored the Wizard of Oz's Dorothy, Hollywood executives had already begun shaping, or rather controlling, Judy Garland's life. She was barely out of childhood when she was placed under a strict Hollywood regime that made boot camp look like a vacation. Studio heads dictated everything, from what she ate or didn't eat, to when she slept or didn't sleep. Want a snack? Too bad, Judy. Executives forced her onto extreme diets, denying her food to keep her weight in check. To ensure she met the brutal demands of filming schedules, they kept her running on a cocktail of amphetamines to stay awake and barbiturates to put her to sleep. By today's standards, that would be considered actual child abuse. Decades of this toxic routine led to a tragic downward spiral. Garland battled addiction, depression, and anxiety, struggling to maintain the Hollywood star image she was forced into. Behind the camera, her personal life was a storm of failed marriages and financial woes. Sadly, at just 47, she passed away from an accidental overdose, her life ending in tragedy after bringing so much joy to the world. Her story is a brutal reminder that beneath the dazzling surface of Hollywood, young performers can pay an unimaginable price for fame. Number 6. Macaulay Culkin. For the world, Macaulay Culkin was the ultimate kid goals, charming, witty, and raking in more money than most adults could dream of. But behind his boyish grin was a childhood overshadowed by exploitation and control. Culkin's father, Kit Culkin, made Joe Pesci's character from Home Alone seem like a loving mentor in comparison. Allegedly, his father treated him like a personal ATM, prioritizing control over his son's career rather than his well-being. This toxic relationship led to a dramatic legal battle at just 15, where Macaulay fought for emancipation. Because nothing screams normal childhood like legally divorcing your own parents. Adding to the whirlwind, Culkin was one of Michael Jackson's closest friends. While they always maintained that their relationship was innocent, it became a controversial talking point, especially during Jackson's legal troubles. Adulthood brought new struggles. Having been a global superstar before he could even drive, Culkin found himself battling substance abuse and the daunting reality of life outside the spotlight. In the early 2000s, he took a step back, focusing on rebuilding his life and staying away from the Hollywood circus that nearly swallowed him whole. Number 5. Drew Barrymore. If there was a contest for most chaotic celebrity childhood, Drew Barrymore would be in the running. Before most kids learned LOM division, Barrymore was already downing cocktails. By 9 years old, she was drinking. By 13, she was in rehab. And by 15, she had legally separated from her mother. That's not a childhood, that's a lifetime movie script. Her 1990 memoir, A Little Girl Lost, pulled back the curtain on her turbulent past. After skyrocketing to fame as a child in E.T., she became Hollywood's favorite wild child, frequenting nightclubs long before she was legally allowed to enter them. Desperate to shed her child star image, she took a controversial leap into adulthood by posing for Playboy at 19. One of her most blink and you'll miss it decisions. A 19-day-long marriage at the age of 19. Yes, that's not a typo. The marriage lasted about as long as it takes for a Netflix show to become old news. But Barrymore did what few child stars manage. She turned her life around. With time, she rebuilt her career, found stability, and eventually became an inspiration for resilience in the industry. Number 4. Dylan and Cole Sprouse. We all remember them as the mischievous twins from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, but their real-life struggles weren't as comedic as their on-screen antics. Despite being adored by fans, the twins faced financial hardship growing up. As child stars, they were the breadwinners of the family, Because nothing says childhood innocence like paying the bills for the adults. On top of financial burdens, they were subjected to the suffocating expectations of Disney's squeaky clean image. Being a teenage actor for a family-friendly network meant there was little room for rebellion or individuality. For Dylan, that struggle escalated. He later admitted to battling alcohol abuse while trying to navigate life beyond childhood fame. After their Disney days, both took a break from acting, with Cole eventually returning to Hollywood and Dylan focusing on personal projects. Despite the difficulties, they emerged from the shadows of child stardom with their sanity intact, something that in Hollywood is an achievement in itself. Number 3. Haley Joel Osment. If you grew up in the late 90s and early 2000s, you probably remember Haley Joel Osment for his unforgettable line, "I see dead people." What we didn't see, however, was the dark turn his life took after childhood stardom. After his The Sixth Sense success, Osment struggled to find his footing as an adult actor. Like so many child stars, he faced the dreaded typecasting curse, which, in Hollywood, is about as fun as a root canal. Then came 2006, when he got into a car accident while under the influence, leading to an arrest and a serious reality check. Rather than spiraling further, he took a break from acting to study theater at NYU, using the time to recalibrate his career and mental health. Fortunately, Osment has since made a successful comeback, proving that childhood fame doesn't always have to be a one-way ticket to disaster. Number 2. Jeanette McCurdy. For Nickelodeon fans, Jeanette McCurdy was the hilarious, no-nonsense Sam Puckett. But behind the laughs, McCurdy's real life was filled with pain and struggle. Forced into acting by her controlling mother, McCurdy had little say in her own childhood. Her mother monitored everything, including her eating habits, leading McCurdy to develop severe eating disorders. In her memoir, "I'm Glad My Mom Died," she detailed her painful upbringing, including the emotional manipulation she endured. The loss of her mother in 2013 left her grappling with unresolved trauma, but it also allowed her to step away from acting and focus on her healing. Now, McCurdy is a powerful advocate for mental health, proving that speaking your truth can be the most powerful way to take back control. Number 1. Jodie Sweetin. Jodie Sweetin, best known for playing Stephanie Tanner on Full House, lived a life far from the wholesome sitcom world she starred in. As a teenager, Sweetin turned to drugs and alcohol, struggling with addiction for years. At her lowest, she experienced multiple overdoses and rehab stints. Adding to the mess were personal struggles, including 2 failed marriages and financial troubles. Despite the chaos, Sweetin fought her way back, eventually becoming an advocate for addiction recovery. She even returned to acting, reprising her role in Fuller House. A full-circle moment for a woman who overcame the worst. And there you have it, the hidden struggles of Hollywood's favorite child stars. But wait, could there be even more untold secrets lurking in the shadows? What if there's an elite club of former child stars planning their revenge as we speak? Stick around, because we're about to uncover even more mind-blowing stories. But first, be a real MVP, like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss what's next. Trust me, it's going to be wild.